awkward phase or the ugly phase. I experienced much itchiness. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Zaire. If you're new, hey. If you're a returning subscriber, hey. Nice to see you guys. So today's video, as you may or may not be able to see, I mean, you already saw the title, but I gave myself microlocks. I DIY'd these microlocks. I wanted them to look as close to sister locks as possible, which is why they're so tiny. And I'll come a little closer so you can see. These are about a month old. I was debating on filming the installation process, but when I say it took me 12 days, it took me 12 days, like over 13 to 14 hour days of installing these microlocks. By the end of it, I was just done with it and I just wanted to get it over with because I started experiencing like carpal tunnel in my wrist and fingers. But yeah, I'm really happy with the way they turned out. I wanted them to be small enough so that it kind of resembled what my hair looks like in a like wash and go, which I will say if you're looking from afar it pretty much looks like a wash and go, but then as you get closer you see all of the braids. In total I have 504 micro locks, and then I started this one, let me, if I move, I started this one, if you can see, it's like a more traditional lock. I started that one, well I didn't start, my mom actually did for me back in March. But yeah, so I started on September 12th and I did half of this, or I did half of my head, and then I ended the other half by September 22nd. And this was the longest process I've ever experienced in my entire life. It was the most strenuous process as well because it's a permanent hairstyle essentially. Like, I'm not taking these braids out and I know my mom isn't going to take them out for me, so I'm stuck with this. But honestly, I'm so happy I did it, and I honestly wish I did this a lot sooner because I was already a lazy natural, but I was getting really bad, you guys. Like, I would keep box braids in for a month and then after that month wash my hair and then put box braids back in, or I would straighten my hair because I honestly was getting so tired with doing my hair, and when it wasn't in one of those two styles, my hair was in a slick back bun. So I was just like, this is too much. I'm tired of long wash days and applying so many products and then having to like refresh my hair every 1 to 2 to 3 days. I was not with it anymore, and I see a lot of people like in the natural hair community, nothing against them, going back to relaxers because they as well have gotten so tired with the natural hair care process or processes that it takes to keep your natural hair healthy. I honestly could tell that I wasn't doing the best job with my hair. I was getting lots of split ends and my hair was really dry. And if you are familiar with my channel, you'll know that I was ginger for 2 years. So as you can see, the ends of my hair are like this more auburny brown, and that's because that's like the old hair dye. And then the roots are my natural color. But yeah, I could tell that my hair wasn't in the best condition, so I was just like, I need something that's going to be quick and easy and like not as time consuming, minus the installation process, because that was 2 weeks of my life. All I have to do when I wake up is get my spray bottle and spray my hair, rub my fingers through it, and because I kind of left the ends loose, if you can tell, I know a lot of people who have locks are very specific in terms of like not applying product into their locks, but because my ends are loose, I do apply like a watered down leave-in conditioner just to my ends, and that's not every single day. If I'm not doing that, I have this mousse that's like for locks specifically, so it has like no oils, no alcohol and stuff like that. After I wash my hair, I will like run it through my hair slightly. What I will say is, because I have locks now, I don't really use any products except for water, and then at night all that I do really is I just put on my sunbonnet and go to sleep. And when I wake up, all that I have to do is just wet it a little bit with some water and then I'm good to go. That has been the best part of this hairstyle, is the level of maintenance or lack thereof. I don't really have to do too much to keep it up. The less you do, the better it actually looks. So I will say that's been a pro. Another pro is I can just like run my fingers through my hair and still feel that like loose, natural feeling, except I don't have to deal with frizz anymore. I will say if I get a little closer, you can see that I have frizz surrounding the top of my hair, and that's just because I have a lot of short hairs, and I think that's honestly from doing so many slick backs. It could be a combination of that, as well as just like having my hair in these small braids. Some of the shorter ones are flying out, but it doesn't bother me. I did start my locks with braids because when I first did this one, I did a normal braid and just left it and it locked really nice. So I like the way that this one locked. I know these will be different because they're so much tinier. Plus I left the ends kind of loose, so I'm not really sure what this is gonna look like down the line. But when I was doing research, I saw a lot of micro lock girlies and guys did the micro locks with like loose ends to still have their like loose natural hair look. But yeah, that's what I was going for. I will say my hair has grown a lot and it's just been a month, but I do have a lot of new growth. When I was doing my research, they were saying with the smaller locks you should do retightenings more frequently. So because I started my hair on the 12th, that's just going to be my retightening day, and I already have it in mind. They said that you could do like between 4 to 6 weeks, but my hair does grow pretty fast and I already have some like a lot of new growth, especially where I first started the locks, and I expect that's going to take me like between 1 to 4 days to retighten my entire head, because again I have 504 microscopic braids that I have to go in and individually retighten. Because I have micro locks and they're so small, I decided that I'm going to do the interlocking technique to retighten my hair each month. I know a lot of people do a lot of different things, but while I was installing my hair, what I did was I braided all the way down, and then when I finished a row, I would go back in and interlock each braid at least once or twice, depending on how tight I braided from the root, if that makes sense. And I think that was a really good job, because I will say none of my braids have slipped except the braids in the very perimeter of my face. But that's just because when I wash my hair and I wash my face, they're getting exposed to like more manipulation compared to the rest of my head of hair. At most, I would say that I've experienced no more than 5 braids slipping in total. But I quickly just rebraided it and then interlocked it, and it's good to go. Another thing is that I washed my hair immediately after I finished my entire head. So I started on the 12th, and then I finished this half on the 22nd. So on the 22nd, I washed my entire head of hair. I let it dry, and I know a lot of people in the lock community will say don't wash your fresh locks, but because they're braids, and I used this lock gel during my installation, and it was just heavy. It's like the same gel that you use when you're doing knotless braids, but I wanted to like feel fresh, and at that point my hair had been unwashed for 2 weeks, so I just went in and washed my hair, and it was the best and easiest wash I've ever done. That's another pro of having locks, is that wash days are a breeze. All I do is I use the Shea Moisture Black African castor oil clarifying shampoo or strengthening shampoo. I forgot which one it is, but it's just the black soap shampoo from Shea Moisture, and I put that in the palm of my hands, and I put like, when you see the commercials and they say you're only supposed to use like a quarter size amount of shampoo for your whole head, but if you're a naturally curly person, you know that that rule does not apply to us. We need so much more shampoo, and especially conditioner. When I say I literally put a quarter size amount into my hands and I lather it up, and I make sure my head is like sopping wet, and then I go in and I just massage my scalp with the shampoo. And I won't say that I use just like a quarter on my whole head, because I will go in and make sure that it's sudsy, and if I don't have enough suds, then I'll go in and apply more. But I try not to put too much shampoo because my hair is locked. I don't want product buildup. So once I feel like I have a good lather all over my scalp, I'll go in and I'll rinse my hair under the water for a really long time. You want to make sure you get all of the product out, especially when you have locks, because you don't want that product to get trapped in the twist or the braids, and eventually further down the line, once they've matured, the fully set locks, because that's really difficult to get out. So once I do that, my shower head is detachable, I'll go in and take it and like literally put it an inch away from my scalp and massage the water into each section. Like I'll section it into like 4 or 6 sections and just take my time massaging the water in to make sure all the shampoo is out, and then that's pretty much it. But with that being said, I will say I do some physical activity, so I tend to sweat a lot on some days during the week more than others, and on those days I do wash my hair. So I'm washing my hair on average between like 1 to 3 times at most per week, and that's a lot for some people, especially in the natural community. But for me, I don't want to smell like sweat, especially on my head after doing like a lot of strenuous physical activity, so I wash my hair more often. But because I'm washing my hair a bit more often and my ends are still kind of loose, if you can see closely, I would say it varies between 1 inch to 3 inches of my ends being loose. So what I'll do for those, so that they don't get too dry, is after I get out the shower or while I'm in the shower, and I'll do this like once a week, is I'll go in with a deep conditioner. I know every person who has locks is going to be like, what the heck, we don't even use conditioner. I mean, some people do use conditioner, but a lot of people in the lock community are trying not to use too many products. But I do go in with either a conditioner or a deep conditioner, and when I say I actually use a little bit, I really just use a little bit, and I'll put that on my fingertips, and then I'll just like put my hair down, and then I'll just put on the very ends of my hair in the shower. And then again, I take a really long time to wash that out to make sure I got everything out. And then once I get out the shower, I'll either put the mousse on the ends or a little bit of leave-in conditioner on the ends that's been watered down if my hair is feeling dry. And then during the week, all that I do is spritz it with water, and then every once in a while, if my scalp is feeling a little bit itchy or dry, I'll go in with either my homemade hair growth oil, or I'll use the hair growth oil that's been trending on TikTok and Amazon. It comes in a little bottle like that and has like a little spout applicator. That one I really like because it has peppermint and stuff like that. I also put that on my homemade hair growth oil. So something that simulates your scalp like that really helps with itchiness. Another thing that I'll say is, I think a lot of people warn you when you get locks that your scalp is going to be itchy, but I actually didn't really experience much itchiness apart from when I was installing the braids and I was using that lock gel on my scalp to like make clean and crisp sections. But apart from that, after I washed that off of my scalp, I didn't experience any itchiness, so that's been a pro. I haven't experienced any dandruff either. I'm gonna find some wood to knock on. But yeah, no dandruff, no product buildup as of yet. I'm only a month in, so I don't have any lint. I hope I can avoid lint for as long as possible. I haven't experienced any of my braids marrying with one another, because I will say, even though I have locks, I know I shouldn't have my hands in my hair as often as I do, but having like my hair be essentially loose and being able to manipulate it and like touch it and run my fingers through without it getting frizzy or like me messing up my curl pattern has been something that I could never imagine before. So I do have my hands in my hair quite a bit, but it's just like so much fun, the freedom that locks have given me. So if you're thinking about getting locks, I would highly recommend getting them, because if you don't like them, you can just cut your hair off and start again. And I know that's very scary to say, but hair does grow back, and if you don't try it at least once, you'll always have it like in the back of your head as a like what if, or I wonder what I would look like or what that experience would be. So I would recommend that if you want to, just go for it, because I'm so happy that I did. And if anyone ever asks me if I wish I did it or if I regret it, I don't think that I would say yes. I definitely don't regret it. I'm so happy that I did it. My hair and I's relationship has gotten so much better since having my micro locks. It's no longer something that I stress about every day. I don't have to think about how I'm gonna do my hair. I literally just have to make sure I have water around me and just like not rinse, but like slightly wet my hair, mainly my ends. If I didn't leave my ends loose, I would only like have to spray a little bit of water just for moisture, but I put a little bit more water just to like get my ends back to a nice like curl pattern. But yeah, I'm so happy that I went ahead and did it. One thing that I will say is I wish I had some help, but also with that being said, I have a bit of OCD, so I know that if I did get help with like my grid and I didn't like the way it turned out, I would have been a little bit upset about that. With that being said, my grid is absolutely not perfect. You can see that it's like pretty okay. If you can see, I can't really see what I'm showing you, but for the most part my grid is okay. But if you look close enough, you'll see the errors in my installation. But I know what I did, and I'm gonna be the only one with my hands in my hair doing my retightening, so I don't have a problem with it. I know the weird areas and like how I installed them, so I don't think that it will be a problem down the line. I will say that because I think I install them half and then half, when I do my retightenings, I'm going to have to do half and then half again, just because I did realize that this half is growing a lot faster than this half. And when I say growing faster, it's just because I installed this half first. This one will always be slightly more tight than this side because of the duration that it took between me finishing this half and then starting and then finishing this half. But I do think that that will change after my first retightening, and they're kind of pretty much on the same page because, like I said, I hope that my retightenings take no more than 4 days, so they should like catch up and equal each other out eventually down the line. Either way, I'm okay with whatever it looks like. As you can also tell, I cut my hair before I locked it, and my hair was even, but this side looks slightly longer than this side. I like kind of find myself trying to pull this down to balance. It's not that noticeable, but I can see the difference. I will say that on this side, this is the first side that I did, so I was like full of energy. I was like ready to tackle my head, and this side is, I will say, better than this side, but that's because on this side I got really lazy with finishing the braids as long as I did on this side, so a lot more of my ends are looser on this side than that side, which is why I have more shrinkage on this side, and this side looks slightly shorter than this side. With that being said, every once in a while I'll go in and just like section off this side and start braiding down those loose ends a little bit more, but I have a lot of braids and that's a lot of work, and this already took 12 days, and honestly I'm kind of just like whatever happens happens. If one side is slightly shorter than the other, I honestly don't care. It's not that deep for me at this point. No one really will be able to tell but me unless I point it out, and I'm not going to do that. I mean, I did for you guys, but that's because you guys are on this journey with me. So yeah, I don't know what else there is to talk about because there's not much that I do to my hair now. Oh, something else that I have invested in are hair scarves, like hair ties, scarves for like wrapping your hair, not at night but like day wear. Those are really fun. I've been playing a lot more with those, just on days when I just like don't want my hair to be out. Sometimes even with like having locks, I will say that people did warn me about the awkward phase or the ugly phase. I don't like to call it an ugly phase, but like the awkward phase with starter locks. But because I did micro locks, and not saying that if you do bigger locks you will experience it, but honestly because my locks are so small and it resembles my natural hair after a wash and go, I don't really think that I've experienced an awkward phase. Besides this side being slightly shorter than this side, I feel completely normal with my hair. And honestly, I forget that it's locked if I'm just like walking past my reflection quickly until I come up close and I see all the little braids. I'm like, oh yeah, I did that. So yeah, I would say no awkward phase, no itchiness. There aren't really any cons except for how long I know / expect it's going to take me to retighten my whole head by myself. I look forward to it, but I also don't look forward to it. I'm filming this on either October 3rd or 4th, and I plan on starting my retightening on October 12th, maybe even the 10th, just in case it takes longer than I expected. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If there are any questions that you have, leave them down below. I'd be more than happy to answer them. I'm sorry I didn't film the installation process, but honestly, you would have seen me like mean mugging the camera during every clip because I was so annoyed. Like, I was so happy to be installing them and stuff like that, but I was honestly so annoyed that it was taking so long, and then I did it myself. So yeah, these will not be taken out. I'm not going to unbraid them, and I'm not going to put anyone else through the burden of unbraiding them for me. I plan on having them for like a really long time. I won't say forever because I know who I am and I change my mind often, but I really do hope to have these in for a long time because so far I've been loving the experience. If there are any questions that you have in regards to locks, micro locks, braid locks, anything at all, let me know down below. Welcome to the lock community. If you are new, I'm new myself, so welcome. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and I'm so excited to be going on this journey with you all again. Well, not again in terms of locks, but like another hair journey. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.